You have to be one step ahead of the opposition when you're dribbling. You have to think what you would do as a defender. That's when you actually be a great dribbler. You have to think the next step when they're thinking of the first step. Are you a good dribbler when you're playing football? In this video, I'm gonna help you out to improve your dribbling technique as well as how you can be better at dribbling when you're playing football. First of all, there are really big common mistakes that players do that doesn't help them out a lot when it comes to dribbling on the field. This all starts when you're acknowledging your own abilities, what you can do, or if you're fast or if you're slow as a dribbler. The big thing is when you are about to dribble, you will need to have a space from the opposition, and having this space from the opposition will prepare you for your next move. And if the defender is very tight to you, then you already can't dribble because you can't probably even turn to go around the defender anyways. If the defender is giving you space, that means that now you can turn and go after the defender and then always wait for their move first. This is very important because if you make the first move, then they're gonna be able to prepare themselves to stop you better. But if you get close to the defender when you have the ball and you let the defender do the first move to touch the ball, now this is your time to be able to take the ball to one side and carry on with your dribbling. As a player who's dribbling, it's more important that you should worry about the second defender, not the defender that you're going against. Because that defender that you're against probably will direct you towards the second defender, and that's the player that will win the ball most likely. You want to avoid that. Their body position will tell you whether you can dribble or not, or if they're directing you towards the second defender. If they are not directing you towards the second defender, then you can go on towards them or you can go wide, because generally speaking, the defenders will want you to go out wide of the field rather than cutting inside to have an opportunity to shoot the ball. This is why it's very important to observe the defender's stance. That's gonna lead you to a successful dribble. If their stance is facing directly at you, so they didn't give you an angle or anything like that, that's a perfect opportunity for you to take on the defender. But if they're giving you an angle, most likely they're directing you to the out wide of the field or towards a second defender where they can challenge you by two players instead of themselves. It's also very important to not rush, because rushing shows weakness, and when you rush, the opposition can actually make a very small movement to win the ball. And as the player who's about to dribble, you have to worry about how can you keep the ball for a longer period, or how can you be effective, how can you cut the ball inside and shoot the ball. And the defender is obviously thinking, how can I win this ball, or how can my team win this ball? So that's the difference, because if you focus yourself too much on how am I gonna dribble this person, you're not thinking as a team. Because as a football player, you have to think how you can gain something for your team rather than how can I look good dribbling around this player. Because defensively, they're not really looking or thinking selfishly, but as a player who's dribbling, most of the time you're thinking more selfishly, where how can you make yourself look good. And this is not wrong, this is generally what the dribbler is actually thinking when they are about to dribble around the player. The simpler the dribble move is, I think, better for you to be more successful, because then if you're doing too much scissors or elastico and all that stuff, you're overcomplicating this move, where you can actually, like, simply dribbling means eliminating the opposition, which means you can check and then go to the other way, which will allow you to eliminate the player anyway. So you don't have to fancy it all the time to be able to make a dribbling move a great move. Most of the time you can also dribble without having the ball as well, where the ball is coming to you and you dummy the ball yourself and then you go back to the other side. You have to be one step ahead of the opposition when you're dribbling. You have to think what you would do as a defender. That's when you actually be a great dribbler. You have to think the next step when they're thinking of the first step. As hard as this sounds, this is what successful dribblers do. They are not overthinking, they are just one step ahead of the defender. All comes down to how your vision is, because vision is not only seeing the field, seeing what your teammates are gonna do, but vision is also seeing what the opposition is gonna do. And you want to improve your vision as much as possible to be able to be more comfortable. And there are certain drills that you can do to be able to improve your vision or improve your dribbling techniques. Setting up cones will prepare you for your leg movements, but game is completely different than how you perform around the cones, or even completely different thing than you playing at the practices or playing with your friends or dribbling around the friends, because the adrenaline level is different, because the focus is different. The game is different than everything you can do with a cone or with your teammates or anything like that. But obviously there is a place and a time to dribble around the cones or dribble around your teammates to be able to improve your fast leg movements and your flexibility, because these are all good things to have as a good dribbler. And these kind of drills will really help you improve your dribbling techniques for sure. But I think the mental game is more important than actually dribbling around the cones, because I'm not very good when it comes to going around the cones. I'm quite slow actually, but I can dribble quite good. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad dribbler, because I can't really do a very fast running around these cones. So you need to be mentally better to become a better dribbler. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications. You can also find my Patreon link in the description, where you can donate $2 a month so it can help my channel out to grow, as well as you can find my playlist right over here. And thanks for tuning in. I will see you next Sunday.